For the past 5 months, I had been running workshops at the Sanctuary Spa, which was based on my book, The Destiny 5 Experience. The Destiny 5 Experience was about reliving 9 moments of your life in order to complete a quest successfully. During the past 5 months, Morgana had let me run a meetup group based on my work. And one of the people who found us was Melody Rose Parker. Now, Melody Rose was a very fascinating woman, and she agreed to be a part of the television show. I thought this would be excellent because Melody Rose had already experienced part of the quest, and she could kind of commentate from a perspective of already having been through it. And I needed someone to really step up to the plate and come up with a very ambitious goal. Yes, my friends were starting to come through for me, and they really felt like my helping hands. As Melody Rose played the game If I Ruled the World, I almost felt like this script of destiny was starting to write itself.
If I ruled the world, human beings would live according to their original instructions and honor and be great relationship they have with Mother Earth and all her children in whatever form they take. If I ruled the world, people would really appreciate their higher power and would realize what a gift living here is. If I ruled the world, all children would be wanted. If I ruled the world, everybody would make decisions from their hearts and not from their heads. If I ruled the world, people would just live in joy, delight, and complete and total abundance. If I ruled the world, all of the masters would come back and sit with us and teach us and talk to us and dance and just have kind of like love-ins like they did in the 60s. It was really great. If I ruled the world, I would have 2 minutes with my dad. If I ruled the world, I would be able to return all of the loving kindness and goodness to all of the different sacramentors and helping hands I've had.
Good. I was very excited to have Melody Rose as part of the Destiny 5 team, but I knew it might be a long haul from her. You see, she's originally from Atlanta, Georgia, and she would be dividing her time between Philadelphia and her hometown of Atlanta. I knew Melody Rose would have a lot of fascinating stories to offer. For instance, she survived an electrocution and had a near-death experience, which I'm sure would come up sooner or later within the context of her story. Melody Rose was really focused on making money with her spiritual practice and teachings, so we got together and brainstormed what her quest would be about for the next 60 days.
My quest is to create and manifest in my hot little hands $100,000 in 60 days. That's it.
$100,000 in 60 days, good. All right, $100,000, now we were cooking. That was the kind of goal I wanted to see happen in this show, because that will really give people a reason to watch. If you could raise $100,000 in 60 days, I know I'd watch this television show, so now I was really getting excited about what was to come. I was getting excited again because when I wrote the book last year, there was a woman who raised $500,000 in the 60-day process. But I was only documenting it through the pen, through the written word. Now we would get to see it through video, and that was really powerful and really, really inspiring to me. In the original Destiny 5 book, there were 5 participants on a team, and that was the lover, the provider, the teacher, the artist, and the everyday man or woman. I was pretty confident that Melody would be the provider. She was the one who would raise money in this quest. I was still trying to figure out who Morgana would be.
And I had met Morgana once, but didn't know her very well, and I really feel connected to her because, of course, we both really have an earth connection, so I think getting to know her more would be really important, and I was glad.
I was very happy to have 2 new cast members on the Destiny 5 Experience show, but I was starting to get concerned about something. Now that Melody Rose and Morgana were both on the same production team, I was a little concerned that I might alienate my audience. That's not to say that I don't love Morgana and Melody Rose immensely, but having both of them on the same show really gave this more of a new age spin. Melody Rose was a minister who definitely incorporated what I would call unorthodox beliefs to her methods. In fact, Morgana and Melody Rose both have brought about some miraculous healings to people that I think the traditionalists would write off as simple hocus-pocus stories. But this was the story I was being drawn to tell. Please don't get the wrong idea. I have benefited immensely from both Melody Rose and Morgana's teachings, but I was a little concerned that I might alienate a mainstream audience. But mainstream audience or not, I was using these 9 steps to manifest the cast to tell the most compelling story I could. In the first part of this story, on page 1, I made a wish to create a television show and find a cast to help me tell this story. Within the first 10 pages, I was able to identify what my conflict was. This was a man versus destiny story, a man versus fate story. In that parking lot, I really believed that I was destined for failure. I was destined to be an underachiever, and this project was destined to fail. But then something happened along the way. When I faced my shadow, a part of me did ask for help, and help came, and I had to be open to receiving that help, and I found out that I did have friends. Even though I had no idea where this was going, I did know there was a story being told. I still had the barrier of trying to describe what exactly it was that we were doing. What is Destiny 5? What is this 60-day quest? But I figured if I just followed the script, something would come up. Something would reveal itself. Now I had to prove that I really wanted this. I had to go out and try again, but this time I had help by my side. This portion of Destiny 5 is brought to you by Transcendent Journey, www.transcendentjourney.com. Experience the gates of transformation, freedom, and healing.